Once again, I have no idea what I sound like, but I think we've done this enough to.
Do you want my headphones?
Nah. Yeah.
Nah, I'm just saying,
Bro, post meditation, the last thing you want to do is talk.
Yeah.
You just wanna sit and look at things. Let's start with this. What would you say at this point? Like, actually, from beginner,
Gravity.
from beginner to where you are now, what would you say your difficulties have been with your
meditation?
with your meditation practice? Like, when you first started, what was the?
When I first started, I didn't even know what it was. Like, I was trying to read a book, trying to figure out, because my introduction to meditation was the Vipassana book, so The Art of Living by Goenka, and it was just like, oh, this is what the method looks like. And when I practiced it, I wasn't really sure if I was doing it. So literally, I would just be sitting down for like 5 minutes, closing my eyes. My mind would just go somewhere.
You're like, what's going on?
I'm like, oh shit. I only focused on my breath for maybe two moments, the whole 5 minutes.
Not knowing that you're making progress.
Yeah, right? Because that's progress too.
Yeah.
And then my first actual like time I remember was probably my first Vipassana course, which is the very first day we came in. They make you sit for an hour, just like that. There's no like 20 minutes. Okay, we'll ease you in. So it's just get in there, and if you can't do it, just keep trying. For an hour. And we did it, and it was the hardest thing ever. And then from there, the silence started. And then, like, that was just super intense. So it all hit me at once. So by the time I was out, I was seasoned at meditation.
Yeah. So you got a grasp.
Yeah. But then once I got out, I tried to maintain the practice for a few days. Very hard. Life happens. Fucking resistance happens.
And gets in the way. But it's not really that it gets in the way. It's just life makes it easier for you not to do it. Because you're like, I'm tired.
Obligation.
I'm tired. Blah, blah, blah. I'd rather eat. Because when you, like, what I realize is you have so much time in a day to meditate in total.
And like,
you just have to sacrifice.
Your mind really just makes up any excuses. Like, and once you really like, you'll get to a point in your meditation where you realize that, and I don't want to project an experience, but you'll realize that like your mind just grabs onto anything, whether it's that itch on your foot, food, your phone.
Or are you breathing properly?
Which is, I mean, that's a good tool, and you can, of course, cultivate that. But even that, like, you could just be doing nothing instead of doing something. Yeah. There's no need to be doing.
And doing nothing is doing something. The joke is you're doing something no matter what.
When I read that, I was like, wow. Because I mean, I've known it, but like the way it was worded. Yeah, it's this book. Me and Gio was reading.
Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by, what's his name? Suzuki. I know the last name is right.
Shunryu Suzuki.
So, bro, it's so good. I'm like almost halfway through. Almost halfway through. And I think it's a collection of just transcribed of his lectures or something, of his speeches or talks, something like that. And it breaks down like Zen just so well.
What is it in its essence?
It's the same thing. It's really the same thing. It's just a different. It's like Buddhism, but it's worded in a different way for someone who, like, if yourself traditional Buddhism doesn't really resonate with you and the way it's worded and the way it's presented to you, Zen just tries to present it to you in a different way.
It's like Jollof, but you just have your own, right?
Basically,
it's the same thing.
So the way it works is just
poor analogy.
The thing is everything can be Zen. Like everything, there's Zen in everything.
Yeah, I heard there's a book called The Zen Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. So where do you think that can apply? Because I haven't read it, but I've heard of it.
See, the thing about Zen, the main thing it emphasizes is you don't need to be sitting down and meditate and zazen all the time.
Okay. Zazen is the sitting,
everything
practice of sitting.
Living can become a practice, and that they tell you in everyday life you can find when you approach things with that mentality that everything is a practice and everything can be given your full attention and presence. Every moment itself is enlightenment.
Right. Close that door perfectly.
So in every single moment, you're just like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. You know, when you're tripping.
Is that where the beginner mind comes from? Is that what they mean?
Yeah, beginner's mind is basically to approach everything as a beginner. To the expert, the options narrow down. To the beginner, everything is so open and it's a vast field. So
that's interesting.
When you approach everything as a beginner, especially like when you're starting something, when you're starting a new skill and trying to learn, everything is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's how they tell you to approach it.
That's interesting because that's probably exactly where beginner's luck comes from. They have no resistance drawing them any direction. They're just free to express themselves.
Just flowing into everything. They're just freely exploring. And basically what it says is never think you got it down. Never think you know. And they also say having a goal can be detrimental too because that's ego. Like I wanna become the best Zen practitioner of all time. That by itself is the number one key to being the worst Zen practitioner of all time. Because then you're not doing, your practice won't be pure, and then that enlightenment is not gonna happen. You shouldn't even do it with the objective of achieving enlightenment. And within that you'll find enlightenment. You shouldn't even try to figure out if you found enlightenment in your practice. It's not something you should try to notice.
They put a word on it.
If it comes up,
it's just a feeling.
If it comes up, it comes up. You shouldn't even try to feel it. The goal is not that. The goal is to just sit.
So what do you think that implies with the DOJO Dispenza meditations?
Well, the DOJO Dispenza meditation is just a different approach. It's not, Zen is not necessarily, saying this is objectively how you should live life. True. It's just, if you want to become a Zen practitioner, this is how we suggest you go about it. Okay. But you can play within, because you have control over like the quantum realm too. So if you want to practice imagination and visualization, you could do that too. You could do both. You could have morning meditation be visualization and midday be a Zen one where you just do nothing, and then another one, because those are just different meditations. There's different forms of meditations. One is visualization, the other one is just sitting. Like your object of focus changes. That's the only thing. Your object of focus in that state is just future and gratitude for outcomes that you want. And the other one is just your breath. And
since like in the past few months, like I have so many, like just since the data meditation, I have so many like different types of meditations that I can do.
Now you don't know which one to do?
I don't know which one to do. So I've just been resorting to like just the Vipassana, just watching the breath.
The simplest one.
Because it's the simplest one.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. It's nice to fall asleep to as well.
Yeah. I realized actually I think I did that yesterday. But the main thing I'm getting from Zen, which I think is something we've lost, I think I've touched on this maybe last episode. Probably not actually.
Are you recording? Okay.
It's when you're doing something, you can, and that ties in actually with the Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, because when you're doing something, you should either be in acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm, because then there's presence in what you're doing, and if there's no presence, then your quality of work will just diminish, right? And Zen talks about how anywhere from cooking to
closing a door
to anything that's going on, it should be the
utmost importance,
your goal. Like your goal in life is whatever you're doing at the moment that you're doing it.
Right.
And for you to become successful, and it's literally what Eckhart Tolle says, it's like a successful artist, a successful person is just a successful present moment. So whenever you're successfully present, you are a success as a human being, because that's when your utmost quality when you're most present in conversation, that's when the quality of conversation is the highest. That's when you get the most out of it. That's when a person gets the most out of it. You leave rejuvenating, like, damn, that was great, And I think that's a thing that's lost, because when we're cooking, we're doing something else while cooking. We're listening to music. We're listening to a speech podcast, and that's cool because listening, and you're killing two birds with one stone. But you're splitting your attention, like whether you or not you realize that your attention is being split still, because you may be cooking, but the reason why you can listen and cook is because your cooking is at this point just automatic, and you don't need to think about it. You're unconsciously cooking. So there's no really fulfillment in it. You're just doing it because you want to do it. It's automatic, that's true. Right?
Like when I decide to make breakfast while listening to a podcast, and I don't know what I'm going to make for breakfast yet, like the pan's going to be on high with nothing in it for like a while I'm flipping back, deciding which podcast to watch,
Which
and then
podcast
next
to
thing you
watch.
know, like the fucking fan needs to be turned on.
Yeah. So it's really just every moment should get your full attention, just awareness. And awareness is how everything great is created.
That's so stupid, bro. Why just make money and buy stuff?
And it's funny because if you're not aware of making money, you're just gonna end up losing your money. If you're not aware with your money, you're gonna just end up just having money come and go without any of your control. And it's like it's the same with everything. So now it's just a matter of it feels weird when I first started doing it, of eating and having eating be the only thing I do.
Oh, you still do that?
And when I'm
like
just
on and off.
restarted doing it. So when I cooking is the only thing I do. When I'm making breakfast, when I'm like getting ready for school or to go to work, that's the only thing I do. If I'm at work, that's the only thing I'm doing. Even though I work every single even though I've been working at the same spot for so long, and the work itself is easy to become unconscious, right? So now it's just flipping it so that you can practice that. And when you practice that in things that are mundane, when it's time to practice it in things that actually require attention now,
it becomes magnificent.
Yeah. And that's why most people now have terrible attention spans. And in moments where their attention is needed, they can't even give it anymore because in moments when it's not needed, they're busy being distracted all the fucking time. You know, it becomes your default mode, distraction.
Yeah. And that's really where the love aspect of putting love into your work comes from. It's just presence.
Yeah. It's literally just pure presence. That's all love is.
Yeah.
Just giving something your full presence and awareness.
That is it.
Without any judgment, any resistance.
Yeah. No, any unconditional
love. What would you say your difficulty is now?
Choosing which meditation to do. It's so funny, bro. It's like, you know, like now you have too many tools. Now it's just like you learned so many lessons and you've not done enough practice. And like that's what hit me the biggest on Saturday. Like, stop learning. Just practice it now.
Because what you realize is nothing is new.
And everything is like, bro, Zen, Vipassana, like
same thing.
It's underlying.
This is literally a new
exact same shit.
This is a new earth by Suzuki.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. But it's worded in a way where you can, okay, you know? But yeah.
And like, I've been having difficulty doing like longer meditations.
Yeah. That's what I'm currently
that's my goal right now.
Spending more time in it.
Because once you get in, it's like when we were doing that 9 minutes just before we started just now, I was like, damn, this is going to end soon. I can go way longer.
Yeah.
And then when it hit, I'm like, yeah, we should have put 20 minutes or something. You know? But when you're actually setting the timer to go on, it's like, what do I have to do after this?
Yeah.
I could be doing something.
But the whole point of it is not even how long you necessarily go. If you set 9 minutes, then make sure those 9 minutes are the greatest. You can have a 9-minute meditation that's better than a 2-hour meditation. So it's really the timer you set. Just sit down for that. Even if you could have gone longer and it was a great meditation. That's true,
and also it's not because you get to the point where like that little amount of time is good. Don't get me wrong, but with the moment you get up, it's like your brain has the permission to just fire. What's happening? This, that, you know?
Yeah, but also the thing about Zen also is that Zen isn't everything you do. And sitting in meditation is just one of them.
Yeah. And
you shouldn't wait until you're sitting in same thing as you shouldn't wait for every Sunday to become holy for that day from 9 to 10. And then after that, you just go do terrible shit. And then Sunday, you're back 9 to 10. Therefore, everything is right.
Unconscious, doing fucking drinking.
Therefore, everything is just reset. Every Sunday at 9, you reset. And then you can do whatever you want, knowing that every Sunday you're going to reset. It's the same thing with meditation. People will think, oh man, people will be having a day. What a beautiful woman. People will be just having a day, and then they're spending the entire day going, I can't wait until I can sit in meditation.
Yeah.
With the whole day passing by. And you don't see that every single moment in the day is an opportunity to just tune in. Because all you're doing when you're meditating
that's getting easier too. That's the one biggest thing I've realized with my meditation practice. I'm sure you have too.
Presence.
Everyday presence. Everything you do, like opening that door.
Yeah.
Feel your body. Where's the tension? Just, you know?
I think that's where the challenge comes. because as you grow older, the reason why this is funny because it's come up so much in the past few like weeks and days where people will go, oh man, like time is going so fast. I'm like, yeah, like when now you figure out why is because it's
You're
so
not there.
easy now the older you get to just become, especially now and especially in the West, how we're routine so much and there's not really much space for serendipity and spontaneous things to come in, right? We try to keep that away here. Like we don't want unexpected shit to happen. We want shit to just be exactly automated as we programmed it, right? So as you're in a program, things become less and less new. Everything is routine. So your mind doesn't necessarily need to be aware of anything anymore. So next thing you know, it's been 5 weeks.
It's the comfort that kills.
Yeah, next thing you know, it's June 2020. And you're like, oh shit, where did that time go? Well, basically what Zen is trying to help you is to just, if you want to slow that down and not feel like time is running out, you can. Just don't fall into the rabbit hole of your routine. You can still stay in a routine, but attempt to become aware of it and not take it for granted. Because as much as it's the same thing every day, it's the same thing in a new way.
Yeah.
There's always a new
factor.
Ground might have new footsteps. New snow, the snow on the floor might have new footsteps. It might be new snow from yesterday's snowfall. Or, I don't know, like, what time did the bus come? Was it on time today? Was it before time? Was it after time? Like, you can still play and find new shit in every single day, even though your day is the same every single day.
Bro, yesterday I think it was. Oh, yeah, yesterday. Bro, when I run for a bus, I never miss it now. So, like, I walked halfway and then I ran knowing like, okay, it's time to run. I fucking run. As soon as like it's visible, bus stops. I'm like, fuck yeah.
You know what game I'm playing? I'm playing a game where I don't even run. Even if the thing says it's coming like right now, I'm just like, I walk. If I miss it, I miss it. If I don't, then sick. Like this, it's this whole thing I've been doing with Tim too. Was it yesterday or Monday? Monday we were supposed to go to Firefly, and I was like, it was 8, and I was like, wait, when do they close? Like 10 or 9?
What's that?
Firefly is the cannabis store downtown on York Street. We're going, and I'm like, wait, will we have time? I'm like, wait, we have bare time today. And if it's closed today, then we'll just go tomorrow. Like it's this whole thing. It'll be open tomorrow. Like, you know how people will just be so cheese when something is closed or like when their plans go like wrong. It's like, bro, just replan. Yeah. Like it's open. The store is open tomorrow. This is not your last opportunity to smoke weed ever in your life.
That's also a big thing. Like the patience factor. If I miss a bus, who cares? If I drop my phone, bro, who cares? Yesterday,
that changed everything.
I work again yesterday. I was stacking the fabrics, right? Last one, and I could go home. Very last one. As soon as it's there, you could have
rushed it.
I didn't rush it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you could have.
I could have rushed it, but I didn't. Got up on the staircase, slowly put it above my head, and stack.
Just place that bitch.
It fucking falls. Half of it falls onto the ground. But like, I'm just like, oh shit. That's okay.
Guess I have to redo it.
Yeah.
Just redid it. What's the rush? Like, what's the rush? Where are we going?
Yeah.
What are we saying?
And I saw another thing on Twitter. It's like the wave of the sun and the solar system, and it's going to the right. Like it's a graph. People are like, where are we going? We're going here. Where else are we?
We're not going anywhere. We're going. That's what we're doing. We're not going, we're just going. You know, it's vast, infinite space.
That's such a hard concept to grasp.
At this point, we've juggled with it so much that it's like to me, it's just it makes so much sense.
Not like even if it's not like feeling it, it's like you have to imply it.
Still, sometimes it's like, just to try to understand it. It always feels like you're kind of trying to reach something that's so far. But
and now I'm seeing it, even in like every lesson my professor gives, like, functionalism was actually not very functional because the focus was completely flipped.
And too intellectual.
To Descartes, it must look like this, and they completely ignore the human side of it. So it's like, literally up is down, you know?
Yeah.
It's in everything.
I wish I had quotes from this, because there were pages that were like, holy shit. Oh,
let
me see.
I want to read a quote.
I posted some from on the archives. Let me see if I can pull that up. Room booking approved. Lit.
What is ergonomics?
Oh shit, nigga.
Ergonomics is the science. Big jump. I know. It's not though. They're listening right now.
It's the same
ergonomically
thing.
sound. Ergonomics is the science of work, of the people who do it and the ways it's done, of the tools and equipment they use, the places they work in, and the psychosocial aspects of the working situation. The word ergonomics comes from the Greek word ergos, which is work, and nomos, which is the natural law. Natural law of the science of work. How do I flip this book? How do I jump? How do I write on this table? Is this table high enough? Is it too low?
It's what your prof says, just the relationship between humans and products. Make sure that relationship is as healthy as possible.
Yeah. I feel like there's more to it.
Of course.
It's like, of course.
But I think that's mainly what.
Yeah, it's the gist of it.
Right?
Yeah.
Is this your first time taking an ergonomics class?
Yeah, but she dropped in like last semester.
Okay.
Bro, I loved it. Like, I was hooked.
Because that's basically, yeah. And what was she saying in the class? How, if you're not doing any, which is debatable because Steve didn't fuck with that, with the whole market research to figure out what people want.
Oh, yeah.
He just intuitively figured everything out. And then Apple ends up being one of the most successful companies. So it's interesting to hear her say that, because she talks about, well, that's the thing. If you're making a product for babies, observing babies, it's not necessarily market research. It's just like you could just.
There is though.
Yeah, actually, no. What she said makes sense. It's just you just need to understand and observe the thing that you're making the product for. If you don't, then you're just making the product for yourself. You don't. It's not about what you think the person. What you think the person is like or works or what the person does or what the person tells you they do. It's about you watching exactly what the person does. It's not about what you think.
Or getting them to just try it.
Yeah. It's not about what you think they do or what they think they do. It's about what they actually do.
Yeah.
That's very important, because I think a lot of people just think they know. And then a lot of people just ask people instead of observing and watching those people themselves. And then they end up getting very distorted, like pieces of information to make a product. Which is a reason.
That's why art, there's so much freedom. It's like, fuck it if you don't like it.
Yeah, art is just like, this is how I see the world.
Yeah.
You know? And then you could kind of mix those two things together. Art and whatever this is. Asking people what they want.
Human factors.
But as you learn about this, we should totally fucking talk about it. And you have readings too. We could discuss the readings on this, because that's very interesting shit, because it's a big part of design. Especially product and industrial design. But what was I going to read from this book? In order to not leave any traces. So traces he's talking about is like traces of your ego in your practice.
Right.
So the thing I was talking about, how, I can meditate for 5 hours a day now. Like, I'm so good at meditation. That's traces in your meditation. When you finish doing something, forget it, but don't necessarily like completely erase it from your memory. Acknowledge the fact that you did it, and it's part of your memory, but don't hold on to it after you've done it. It's done. It's gone. You know when you're high sometimes and you just say something and you forget you fucking said it? Like when you smoke weed, it's legal. when you smoke, that's what I realized like last time I smoked. Like you will say something and you just forget.
Yeah, you
like,
don't
did I just
know.
say that?
You're so in the presence. It's like,
who
cares?
That's literally what I was tripping out about. I was like, whoa, like everything I'm saying just disappears.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck. Is that why they have short-term memory loss? Because they just forget everything after they say it. So that's basically what he's talking about.
The crux. I don't even know what that means. The crux of presence. Fuck. I don't know why I'm using these words.
I know what you mean. Yeah. It's probably not the appropriate word, but in the context,
you know what I mean.
But in the context of the sentence, it makes sense.
Let me fucking Google that.
In order not to leave any traces, when you do something, you should do it with your whole body and mind. You should be concentrated on what you do. And this is what I mean by any mundane day-to-day activity. You should do it completely, like a good bonfire. You should not be a smoky fire. You should burn yourself completely. If you do not burn yourself completely, traces of yourself will be left in what you do. No ego in your practice. No you. It's just divinity, just pure wholeness in your practice, basically. You will have something remaining which is not completely burned out. Zen activity is activity which is completely burned out, with nothing remaining but ashes. This is the goal of our practice. This is what Dogen Dogen, whatever he means. Dogen means when he says, ashes do not come back to firewood. Ash is ash. Ash should be completely ash. The firewood should be firewood. When this kind of activity takes place, one activity covers everything. So practice is not a matter of 1 hour or 2 hours or 1 day or 1 year. If you practice Zazen with your whole body and mind, every moment, even for a moment, that is Zazen. So moment after moment, you should devote yourself to your practice. You should not have any remains after you do something. But that does not mean to forget all about it. If you understand this point, all this dualistic thinking and all the problems of life will vanish. Which is a concept that's been coming up because from yin, I was like, okay, yin, yang. Like I was like, okay, this is both. And I was in it. And then now it's like it's almost as if everything is perfectly planned.
Yeah.
After I figure out the concept of Taoism, I start learning, just presents itself to me is the concept of non-duality and non-dualism, where you're basically becoming the dot itself and you're leaving everything so that you can come back to it and play within it without falling into it. And,
it's crazy.
Another quote. When we sit in cross-legged posture, we resume our fundamental activity of creation. Oh, this one is crazy. There are perhaps 3 kinds of creation. This is what I was just talking to you about. The first is to be aware of ourselves after we finish Zazen, which is after you finish meditation, you open, you're creating the world again, right? When we sit, we are nothing. We do not even realize what we are. We just sit. But when we stand up, we are there.
What was the second one?
It's not there. We're not there. This is the first step in creation. When you are there, everything else is there. Everything else is created all at once. When we emerge from nothing, when everything emerges from nothing, we all see it as a fresh new creation. This is non-attachment. The second kind of creation is when you act or produce or prepare something like food or tea. Same thing, full presence. The third kind is to create something within yourself, such as education or culture or art or some system for your society. So there are 3 kinds of creation. But if you forget the first, the most important one, the other 2 will be like children who have lost their parents. Their creation will mean nothing.
What's the third one?
Out of nothing comes everything, right?
The third one, I'm still.
The third one is things that come from within you. So art comes from you. Like art is your Acris's art. That's still Acris's art. That's still tailored to your. You have your own style of making it, but without practicing the art.
So there's a distinction between the second and the third, is what I understand.
The second and the third are basically secondary. The primary and most important one is the being nothing, because out of that nothing, all of creation happens. When you open your eyes after meditation, it's like everything is suddenly new, and your perspective,
start putting names on everything.
The way you perceived everything before you started is way different after you're done. However long you meditated for. Everything seems like, oh shit, this is where I am. Like, oh damn, and you kind of forget everything. Like, what time is it? Like, blah blah. So that creation is essential before you start creating anything else, because that's nothingness, and out of that nothingness is where your creations come from. So. Crazy fucking shit, nigga. Yeah, but the thing
for those, I understand. It's making sense. It's making sense now.
Yeah, but there are a lot of moments where I'm reading. I'm like this is definitely not something you read once. This is something you read once, you practice it, and then you read again. It'll make more sense with practice. So this is what you're saying. You learn, and then you have to go practice, and then go back to what you learned, and then you'll see what the thing was saying, because it's not something you grasp first try. And from my experience.
Remember when Paloma was like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "You're so dramatic."
Oh, what did you ask?
I don't remember. It like I think. Oh, Mosey was like, he had his eyes closed for a bit, and Paloma was like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay?" Like, you just like, why are you so dramatic? Let him just be. Why are you asking him?
Let me be enlightened. We're gonna have a Ram Dass era in this podcast where I'm just gonna talk, because bro, every lecture is just so fucking good. There's this one called "Awareness is the Sky," where he basically, and it's real quick. I'm not gonna it's just an analogy he makes for your awareness, is where imagine as if your mind, or just your mind is the sky. And what is the sky? How do you grasp the concept of sky? Because it's just unlimited space. It's just a vast space, right? But within the sky arises clouds, birds, planes. Those are thoughts, feelings, emotions, and life. And your job is to be the sky and to watch all of those things come in and out. And you can't, and that's it. Like, that's a good way to see just what awareness and just how empty you should be to really just understand.
There's levels to awareness.
Is there? Or is there just awareness?
I think there is. I think that awareness you're talking about is so omniscient, it's like omnipresent. It's like, wow, I'm literally every single person at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, oh, this is what my breath is doing. Versus, oh.
But that is awareness.
Yeah, but
that's just another cloud in the sky.
Huge. The scale is massive, though. The difference of scale.
No, because that's just big things. You're talking about big scale, small scale. That's still in the sky.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the sky itself. I'm talking about awareness.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Awareness as the sky. Everything, whether a small cloud or a huge collection of clouds, is still within the one sky. There's still one sky. I think
the misunderstanding is you as the sky, you're aware of everything in the sky. Me, I'm only aware of the bird. Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at. Whereas when you develop higher levels of sensitivity, you zoom out more and you can see the bird and the colors and the clouds to the point where you can see everything.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The more you have to become more and more of the sky. You have to become more and more of the sky. And the funny thing is,
don't just be the bird.
There's infinite sky. So it's like you're going to keep becoming more and more sky. Like you're going to just become vaster. So that's a cool thing. And then the other thing was on the pull to God. I'll have that one linked in the description, because that one, oh my God. I listened to that yesterday right before sleeping. And it was the only thing I listened to. So I just laid down and I just listened, and then I meditated after and went to sleep. And man, even then I didn't fully grasp everything. Like there's some things that just flew right over my head. And he basically just, through anecdotes, he presents the idea that some people get so attached to the spiritual path and they become so beyond their bodies that they just leave it. And there's a term for it. I forgot the term. But it's a term when people die just from leaving their bodies. Right. They're willingly just...
The physical body.
They willingly just say, fuck it, I don't want to be in this realm anymore. I just want to stay over there.
Bliss is too nice. Yeah. Fuck this heaven-hell duality.
And he also talks about this whole thing about his goal. This was 70s, and he was like, I'm still not pure. I still don't feel fully pure. And the reason why I could be meditating right now, but instead I'm giving this talk. And what he expresses to them is to the people wherever he was giving the talk is that he's not doing it because he wants their love, because he needs them, because he wants them, because he wants any outcome out of it. To him giving these talks is an instrument for him to become an instrument for him on his spiritual path. Right. So it becomes this thing where
he's doing it for him.
The more you connect it to God, the more the world becomes an instrument for you to serve God.
Yeah.
So the reason why his talks are so pure is because he's not doing it because he wants the approval of who he's giving the talk to. He's giving it the talk to get closer to God.
Mm-hmm. And the thing you mentioned where when anything goes wrong, he just says, "Oh, Baba's trying to teach me a lesson."
Yeah. Maharaji is trying to trick me again. He was in line for at the market or something, and it was super long.
Powerful.
And it was super long. I think some attractive lady came in, and he talks about perversion that way too. And he's like, when some very attractive person comes in and like those feelings come up, he's like, "Oh, it's perversion again. How are you? Long time no see. Invite your feelings in for tea."
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Tim about that. Because if you don't invite it in for tea, it just keeps knocking.
Yeah.
And you can't, if you're trying to watch TV inside or sleep or just mind your business, but you can't do anything because this fucking knock keeps...
Next thing you know, the door's broken. Everyone's in there.
You keep hearing this knocking and they break your door and everyone invites themselves in. And it's like, okay, no. If you invite it in for tea and you ask how it's been, because it's been visiting other people, right? And it's just your turn to be visited, like a Jehovah's Witness. You just ask it, like, how's it been? Who you came into? Like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And then you just ask for tea. It'll politely leave. You just catch up.
Well,
and then,
yeah, it's
and
the
leave.
honoring. It's the honoring of the whatever emotion it is, right?
Yeah. And then it leaves, and you
Yeah.
do the same thing for everything. You don't try to keep happiness and have it stay over. You don't try to have happiness sleep over.
Oh, bro.
You have happiness stay in for T2 and then leave. Because then the happiness has to leave. It has to go to other people too. It can't be all for you, nigga.
Ramdas read this in one of his talks.
Okay.
What time is it? How much time?
Does it matter?
Probably end it with this. Or do you want to keep going? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, end it with that.
All right. I am the great sun, but you do not see me.
Oh.
I am your husband, but you turn away. I am the captive, but you do not free me. I am the captain, but you will not obey. I am the truth, but you will not believe me. I am the city where you will not stay. I am your wife, your child, but you will leave me. I am that God to whom you will not pray. I am your counsel, but you do not hear me. I am your lover, whom you will betray. I am the victor, but you do not cheer me. I am the holy dove, whom you will slay. I am your life, but if you will not name me, seal up your souls with tears and never blame me.
Hard. Fire. Key to success? Awareness.
And money. Give us some.
Oh, of course. It's funny because those concepts are so simple, but it's so hard to condense them into 30-minute form. Like,
Yeah, we just keep going.
You can keep going, and
I think we like because the thing is we understand. Like conceptually, it's like, oh yeah, he's there.
And that's the thing. The being is the message. So it's through living.
Can we record the spinal wave right now?
What?
So we can put it on YouTube.
She's like it. Like the actual video people do.
Yeah, but if we do